Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. I'm Peter Loshak. Today is Friday, August 19th, and we are continuing our coverage of ATS tendencies of college football coaches from around the league with Steve from collegefootballwinning.com. He's recently written a book called The Betting Black Book, which can be found at amazon.com. And that's where all this information comes from. Again, Steve's website is collegefootballwinning.com. He'll give an extensive description and plug of his website at the end of this segment. Steve, right now we're going to take a look at Mark Dantonio from Michigan State. He's been the coach there for about 10 years. And normally, I think of Michigan State as a team with a run-heavy offense and a strong elite defense. Although in recent years, their offense has been more dynamic and more productive. So I don't know. In general, I think of Michigan State as strong defensively, elite defensively, and I guess from an ATS perspective, I don't have any strong associations with them, but I do have associations that they're just a great team. So I guess I would be looking to bet on them unless I had any strong reason to bet against them in any given situation. Steve from collegefootballwinning.com. What can you tell us about Mark Dantonio, Michigan State?
Well, Peter, as you mentioned, this video is really an offshoot of the Betting Black Book, which is now available at amazon.com in its print form. And in the Betting Black Book, I have detailed the betting history of all 128 FBS coaches over the past 10 years. So for Mark Dantonio, he has been at Michigan State since 2007. So looking at his overall against the spread winning rate, he is 63, 53, and 3. So he's beating the spread overall at a rate of 54.31%. And this is a good time to remind viewers that the standard or the break-even rate in standard college football betting is 52.38%. So you hear anything higher than that and you know they're profitable. 54.31% overall. So Mark Dantonio has been profitable overall against the spread. He ranks 40th overall among all 128 active FBS head football coaches. At home, 29 and 35 against the spread. So that's beating the spread at just 45.31%. He ranks 70th among all active head football coaches at home. So not so good. But away, Peter, and I define away games as any game played away from a team's home stadium, except bowl games and college football playoff games. So neutral site games, yes. Anything postseason other than a conference championship game is not included in this category. He is 29, 14, and 3 against the spread in those away games. That's winning at the phenomenal against the spread rate of 67.44%. He's the 13th best coach in the nation in away games. Narrow point spreads. So I define these as any game that closed with a point spread under 3 points, under a field goal. I did not differentiate between underdogs and favorites in this category, and I'll tell you why. Over the last 10 years of college football betting, when a team opened, doesn't matter, favorite or underdog, less than 3 points, they switched places from favorite to underdog or underdog to favorite 25.37% of the time. So to refer to one of those super short, narrow point spread favorites as the favorite or as the underdog, I thought would be misleading. So overall, that category, he's 7 and 3 against the spread when the closing line is less than a field goal. That's 70%, obviously. It's excellent. Favorites overall, 39, 37, and 2 against the spread. No real edge to be found there. As an underdog of at least 3 points, 17, 13, and 1. So that's winning at the rate of 56.67%. In conference, Peter, in the Big Ten Conference, 43, 30, and 2. So that's winning at the rate of 58.9%. That's the second best among all coaches in the Big Ten. Out of conference, though, 23 and 1, winning at the rate of just 46.51%. Total preparation. So looking at coaches, the total prep coach, this is when the coach had at least 10 days to prepare for their next opponent. So that's the first game of the season. That's after a bye week, before a bowl game, before college football playoff games. He's 12 and 15 as a total prep coach. That's winning at the rate of just 44.44%. He ranks 69th overall, so it's not impressive. It's underperforming. The first game of the season. This is part of that prep category, but first game of the season against the spread, since that the next game is the first game of the season. Michigan State under Mark Dantonio is just 3 and 6. So 33.33% against the spread. But before you go thinking, oh, great, I know what to do for Michigan State's first game, we're going to bet against them. Michigan State opens this year, 2016, with an FCS opponent. Now, under Mark Dantonio, his Michigan State teams against FCS opponents, whether first game or wherever they're found in their schedule, they're 3-1 against the spread versus the FCS. So be careful thinking that he does so poorly in that first game, he underperforms. He does not underperform when it comes to facing FCS competition, so just be careful. So overall, my conclusion here for the takeaways from Mark Dantonio, where he exceeds expectations in away games, as we said, 13th best. In narrow point spreads, 70% against the spread. In conference, second best in the Big Ten. Where he tends to underperform, not great at home, as we said, ranked 70th. Not great out of conference, ranked 77th. And we said he's bad that first game of the season, just 3-6. But beware when they play FCS opponents, and that's who they're playing for the first game of the season, because they do well. Michigan State under Mark Dantonio does well against the FCS in general.
All right, interesting stuff as always, Steve. And if people want to know more about you, collegefootballwinning.com is where they can find it. Tell us what they can find there.
Come to collegefootballwinning.com, and we're a company founded on making betting recommendations algorithmically. We call those algorithmic betting recommendations our formula. The formula has selected 495 betting recommendations so far, lifetime of the company, and beaten the spread at the rate of 59.89%. So we are a company that just does college football betting analysis all year round. So if you go to collegefootballwinning.com and you put in coupon code SBR10, that's SBR10, you'll get 10% off of any membership that we're currently offering. And we always offer a 100% money-back guarantee on the entire season.
Awesome, Steve. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Peter.
Research before you bet. Be sure to check out SBR Picks for the best game predictions, breakdowns, and much, much more.